G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here going. Today, outside I got the mic on. I'm going to be working outside repotting a big tree. And I'll have the mic on the windsock, so probably yell a bit. Look like a bit of a retard yelling, but I've found that with the sock on, it's a bit quieter, so it comes through pretty quiet, so I've got to nearly yell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a repot, show you a few things that have been happening. Some of the trees in flower now. Bit of work that I've been doing. I did a bit of work on some of the trees without really videoing it, so that's alright. Beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I'll just show you a few things. Cheers. Good day. Well, a few of you have been asking about the dogs. They're sort of sleeping in this back area of the old foxies. Got you left, don't we, bud, hey? I'll just carry him over the fence. So see if I can do it one-handed. Oh, boy. That fence is hard. I'll give him a bit of a run. He doesn't really like... there he goes. He loves going for his run. I still give him a run. Doesn't really like the new dog, Leo, so we keep him separate. That's alright. He still goes out for a run. Finds it pretty good. Anyway, I'll just show you around. I got a bit of bad news actually. The poor old foxy. We had 3 foxies and now we're down to 1. I think last week Friday, just before the bonsai show, one of them died. The old bloke Max, he was 16 years old. He had a good innings. Pretty sad, you know. We buried him. It's a dog taking a leak on my plants. Yeah, we buried him. It was pretty sad, but you know, he had a good life. 16 years old, he did pretty well. Sad, but in the end, you know, he was getting a bit skinny. Bit skinny and old and very tired. He went out in the sun one morning on a Friday morning and basically went for a sunbake in the sun. Never made it back to the shade. That's where he died. So anyway, he looked pretty peaceful when he died, so that's okay. This dog's taking another leak. What are you doing there, boy? Hey, Lucky. This one's called Lucky because he was born in a tyre, a big tractor tyre. His mum gave birth to him all in a tractor tyre. And what happened is it was a hot day and he was the only one that survived out of the whole litter. So we called him Lucky. And then, as you know, the other foxy died about a year ago. So we're down to 1 foxy and 1 kelpie or huntaway now. But anyway, both black. Both pretty good dogs. What you doing there, boy? Oh, it's a maple that I planted next to the... It goes in the shade most of the afternoon because, you know, maples don't like too much heat. I'm sure the leaves will burn off come a really hot day. The leaves will burn off, but they're actually quite hardy as far as they'll keep pushing new leaves without dying. The problem with them basically is that it just burns the leaves off a bit and looks a bit ugly. But for spring, you know, looks beautiful. No worries at all. Dog's just having a bit of a drink, I think. Anyway, so we've been planting up a few plants. Chinese elm over there. Plants around the edge. Got a dripper line going. I'll show you a few other things. Got another big dripper line going to the big trees out here. It's all on drippers now, so I don't have to hand water anymore. I can save a lot more time for bonsai, which was my main aim, and so I can go play with the kids, go on weekends away. But that's all on automatic watering now, so that's pretty cool. What else? Oh, as you can see, it's turned back to a dry desert. We don't have the red dirt showing yet, but don't worry, it's under there. It'll make an appearance sometime this summer, I'm sure. So it's all dry, hills are dry, sheep trough down there. Still beautiful though, still love it out here. Little bit of wind, so I've got the windsock on, I'm yelling a bit. Here's a dog coming back again. You got a fascination with that tree, mate. What's your problem, hey? What's your problem? You got a fascination with that, don't you? So yeah, poor old bloke here, he lost his mate. He's 15 years old. His mate, Max, which is the one that died, he was 16 years old. They were a year apart. We got that one first, Max, and then what happened is we thought he was a bit lonely during the day, so we got him a mate. And the other one as well, Savvy, who died. But, you know, they're getting old, they're getting on. You know, our cat's 14 as well, so he's getting on. Cool. Alright, let's get into some bonsai. Enough mucking around with the dog. We got to do some bonsai. So I'll just show you, my fence is all blown apart here. I put this bamboo all along the fence. And we get, you know, 100km/h winds here, and it's just blown the shit out of it. It's gone everywhere. Looks pretty feral. I'm going to have to rip it down. Sort of survived a few months, and then it just got trashed in the wind. Yeah, so that's about it. So that's what I'll do. I'll take you up the hill and I'll just show you some of the drippers I've got set up now. Just got to quietly video this guy, because that foxy, he eats the stumpies. This one's quite warm, so he'll be active. Stumpy. It's going alright. We got lots of those around the place. Anyway, let's hope the dog doesn't find him. I'll walk up this hill here, so hopefully then the dog will follow me rather than that. The new dog Leo, he doesn't seem to bother the stumpies too much. He'll sort of bark at him, and then we tell him to stop and he'll leave him alone, so that's good. Don't like to see him eating stumpies. So anyway, we got our big trees here. As you can see, I've run the dripper line everywhere. This is all recycled dripper line, so it didn't cost me anything. It come from the vineyards, all old dripper line. I've ran it in and out all the trees. It's not turned on now, but it works fine. Every tree. Took me a few days, a lot of work. Put some dirt over it where we drive. And I'll just show you how the trees are going. Some of you have been asking how the trees are going up here on the hill. The only thing missing on this tour is a beer. I ran out. I'll have to get one in a minute. Don't worry about that. I'll keep myself hydrated. Okay, so we're still walking around here. You can see all the dripper lines snaking around here. Goes to all the trees. I've checked all the old drippers. There was a lot of blocked ones because, like I said, it was old recycled dripper line, and I used all the old drippers, and then put bungs, a lot of bungs in where the drippers were, and I didn't need them, so put a lot of bungs in. So they started drying out before I got the dripper line set up, but I'm sure they'll be fine now. Some of these trees are going okay. You can see since I've started watering again, new tips are starting to grow on some of them. Some areas better than others. There's some areas down the hill down there where they're really starting to get all new tips, because I set that dripper line up first, so they got watered probably a week earlier. But then there's some trees here that are doing really well anyway. Look, here's one here. Don't even ask me what they all are. Peppermint gum, narrowleaf gum, all sorts of crap. Dundas, mahogany, lots of Dundas all over the place, blue gums, whatever, you know, a lot of natives, a lot of gums, some melaleucas. And anyway, so that's it. So I've got dripper line everywhere now. That one's doing okay. I'll just show you this one over here. That one seems to be doing okay. You can see that bushy one hanging out the guard. I'll show you a bit of the wet dirt. See that one? Bloody beautiful. Well done, mate. You're doing well. You deserve a chocolate. Hey? Doing well, mate. Okay. I'll just show you. See the new growth coming on here? They were starting to look a bit sad. You can see the old tips. I hope you can see that, the old tips. But it's getting new growth on it again. And I'll just show you down here. You can see the wet dirt line there. Nice wet dirt. Sun's sort of a bit in a funny spot there to see it properly. Try and find one. Here you can see where I've pulled out an old dripper that wasn't working and put a different one in there. The sun's in a funny spot. Oh well, anyway, enough of that. I dig down here in the guard. You can see, get down to moisture pretty quick, nice and wet in there. So anyway, all on drippers. So that's going to make my life easier. I can do some weekenders with the kids now instead of watering. After work I can chill out, do some bonsai. Lots of bonsai. I'm going to do way more bonsai this year. So that's going to be great. Instead of watering all these trees by hand like we were doing. They're running from a pressure pump off a tank near the house because mains pressure here is too low. I'll just get down and show you a view. You can sort of see some of the trees poking out around the place. Fair few trees starting to poke out, so that's pretty cool. But they take time, you know, they don't grow instantly. In time, they'll cover in, block the wind. It's going to be awesome. No worries, I'll get back to the bonsai. Cheers. Okay, back to the shed. Dog never ate that lizard, which is good. Good boy. Hey, good boy. Good old bloke. Right. So, a few things to show you. Done a heap of cuttings, olive cuttings. Not for bonsai. These are all going to go as a hedge around my lawn out the front. I'm going to have this little hedge and just hedge it and trim it. An olive hedge, which will be pretty cool. The bad thing about it, in 20 years time when they get nice bases inside that hedge, it's going to be bloody hard not to dig a few up and have a few gaps in the hedge, I tell you. So we've got 150 of those going, or actually nearly 200. Another thing I wanted to show you, I collected some of these from when I went camping. They were sort of on the track and down near the waterline as well, near the lake, and I just pulled them up by the heads. Just basically ripped them up. Just little ones, heap of little ones, just pulled them up by the heads. I think it's some sort of a kunzia, but maybe someone will know. They've got flowers on them. So I did that nearly a month ago. And no joke, there's new shoots on there and they haven't looked back. And there wasn't many roots. There was a few, but not a lot. Some of them are wilting a little bit, but it's still got fresh new growth. So it's going to be interesting to see whether it holds that and just shoots new roots or not. If so, that might be a really easy variety to collect. Pretty sure it's a kunzia, but someone let me know. Someone will know. So that's that. Another thing I wanted to show you is my hawthorn here is in good flower. The hawthorn, it's doing pretty well. And the apple next to it for that matter. Good old apple, look at that thing going. It's loving it. Bloody loving it. So, I'll just show you. This is the first thing to wilt. See that? It almost outgrows its roots and then starts to wilt. And then they'll stand back up at night. I can't physically water it anymore. It's pretty wet. You can see the moss is still nice and wet. It's just how it is. It grows and wilts, grows and wilts. Here's the apple. Look at all the apple blossom here. That's pretty cool. Another thing I wanted to show you. That's really cool. Really growing well. So I'm happy with that this year. It looks really good. The devil's plum's still going okay there. Since I last trimmed it, it's already got a lot of new shoots on it, as you can see. Didn't take long. Big tall maple needs cutting down here. A lot of growth on that one now. Oh, the mulberry. I wanted to show you the mulberry. Pretty hard to tell with all those trees behind it, but the mulberry's going really well. It's in spring leaf now. There's too much to show you. We're not going to get around to repotting that tree I was going to repot. This is boxthorn. Have a look at this boxthorn shooting out. No roots. Just bloody amazing. No roots. Look at it. Mate, you need to settle down. Here's the stump for the coral bark maple. You can see that's going pretty well. A lot of shoots on it. I'm going to have to do some shoot selecting on that. The red gum's going fine down here. It's going good. Also, I worked on an olive yesterday. Put it in a pot. Did some styling on it. You know, it's not looking too bad. Pretty good. Got that from my brother's house a few years ago. It was full of weeds in a wooden box. Looked like nothing. I should have done a video on it because the transformation is massive from what it was. And it's really looking really cool. So, should have done a video but didn't. Snooze, you lose, I suppose. Crepe myrtle shooting out well. What else was I going to show you? The Melaleuca. It's got all good growth on it now. Pretty sure it's a honey myrtle, but I don't know. There was something else I was going to show you. Oh, ash trees. These ash trees, I did a thread graft here, and you can see this one here is where it comes in the back, and it comes out through this one. And you can see that it's still got leaves and stuff on it, and I defoliated the rest of the tree, completely defoliated it, because the ash tree seemed to just be a one flush tree, and because they only flush once, then they sort of sit there for the rest of the season. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to defoliate it and force it into a second flush this year, see how it goes. Bit of an experiment. I've heard it been done before and it seems to be okay. What else? Oh, swamp. The bald cypress. Bald cypress? Yeah, I think so. Swamp cypress. That's made it up onto the benches just to keep a better eye on it because I let it dry out last year. Oh, one more thing before I get on to repotting the tree. This is the peppercorn. Some guys thought it was a bit too brutal how I root pruned it. The tree died back, which it always does. Doesn't matter what you do. You can trim it and those leaves will die back. It just does. It's just how it rolls. Always done it. Anyway, I wasn't concerned, and you can see why. Look at all these new shoots on it now. Hope you can see that. A few new shoots. And that's, you know, pretty much going everywhere now, these new shoots. The whole thing's going to be in nice bright green leaf again in not too long at all. So, no need to worry about that. That's about it. So, I also sort of semi-defoliated another ash tree. Never done a video on that one, but it's actually quite a good tree. It's got a big base. I grew it from seed. Probably started nearly 10 years ago. Grew it from seed, put it in the garden. Trunk chopped it a few times. You can see that nice base. A nice shape, taper to it. Pretty cool. So I'm going to put that one in a pot next year. Not this year, but next year. Anyway, so this is the wisteria. And this is the one I'm going to repot today. You can see it's in this massive tub. Absolutely massive. I don't know how many litres. I would say maybe 100 litres, maybe more. Lucky, what are you digging? Oi! Lucky. Don't go in there, you might find something you don't wanna. Like a snake. Come on, Lucky. Lucky. Too used to Leo. Leo listens. These foxies don't listen. I just hope he doesn't find something. It's a naughty boy. Ah, that's what he's found. It's okay. He's found a pig's ear that Leo buried one day. Is that what you found, boy, hey? Don't worry. I'll let you have it. I'll put it in your yard with you. Alright. At least it wasn't a snake. So, what's happened? I collected this one here from the neighbours in the foundation. This wisteria was from there to there wide. All of this was filled in with a few branches on it. What's happened is the middle of the trunk never rooted into the ground, and I think these are fairly specific as far as where the roots grow in is like a vein straight up to where it's alive. So if you have bits on the top die, it means that the roots on the sides, which would have been the middle here, never grew. So what's happened is the roots on the edges have grown. As you can see, it's grown. It's very healthy. It's finished flowering. I didn't take pictures of flowering, I don't think. Might have had one in my spring video, not sure. And the whole middle's rotted out because this wood rots really quick, and it had white ants in it. And I'll just show you what it's done. I haven't done any carving. This is completely hollow. You can see my fingers coming in the back. Completely hollow. And look at that dead wood. That's just bloody beautiful. You certainly just couldn't carve that. The white ants and the rot's done all that. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repot it, and then I'm going to put some L's wood hardener on there. And hopefully it'll preserve that look. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. It'll just flake off and you'll be left with the live veins, but no sort of deadwood look to it. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to repot that today, put it in a pot. No real styling is going to get done, just repot it. No worries. Cheers. Let's get to repotting it. Well, good day guys. Mr. Dum Me dropped the tripod, fell on the ground, broke this gimbal off the top, used a bit of gaffer tape, put it back on. So we'll see how she goes. Seems to be holding, a little bit wobbly. So we'll see how it goes in the wind. Could be a bit wobbly, I hope not, for your sake. And we'll see how we go. Let's get out there and start filming. Cheers. Okay, I don't know what it got of that because the kids' friggin' game came up on my phone. Possibly lost a bit. So I've tipped it out of the pot. Don't know whether you heard, but the gimbal's not working, so gonna have to do it in the first person view, the whole lot. Pulled it out the pot. There it is. So what I want to do now is carefully try and get it out without breaking too many branches, and just try and tip it up. It's going to be hard while I'm trying to hold the camera in one hand. And then basically just wriggle the pot off the bottom. Well, this is not easy. I need a tripod, man. Where's me bloody tripod? I don't know. So I'll try and roll it out sideways. Here we go. That's easy. So we roll it out sideways, let it sit back up. Yes, yes, look at that. Beautiful. It's working, still coming together. I'll pull this pot off. Need a GoPro now, don't I? Pull that one off. So you can see that big tub. Massive tub. Massive tub. Okay, So there's the wisteria. And what I'm going to do, I might even try and roll it back. Roll your boat back up the hill. Well, it's probably far enough, just enough so it didn't get dirt in here. Here's another one of those friggin', I don't know whether there's something to do with the dog burying shit again. Bloody dogs. Right, let's get this out of here. And I really want to be careful, I don't want to be stupid about this, because I want to save as many roots as possible. You can see these roots twine around. What I'm going to do, and my plan, is to pull these two apart, clean all the dirt out, and then put them in a smaller pot and put them closer together, so you can see the story that they were together, trunk rotted out, but you're able to do it in a smaller pot. That'll be my plan. I was thinking about making them two individual trees, but this one's pretty ugly on its own, and I think it'll tell a story if it's next to that one, to be honest. So I want to keep it. I want to keep it with it. See, that one's pretty ugly on its own, but it does have a bit of deadwood there, but it's very thin. But it is alive, so I'll do that as well. So I want to try and keep a lot of these roots. You can see the circling root here. Circles all the way around under here. With probably some feeder roots on the end. I'm really going to have to take you off camera for this because I don't have a tripod. So I'm struggling for starters. And it's pretty hard to do it one-handed. It doesn't seem to be doing it easily. So I'll just go along and shake it like this. Try and divide it, and I'll get back to you when I've got something to show. Going to try and divide them. Might be able to get the dividing on film, not sure. See how we go. Cheers. Okay, well, I got the saw out and cut through once I sort of worked out where each one's main roots was, and got rid of a lot of vital ones as far as the ones that were gonna get chopped off, and I've separated them, so now I can hopefully just shake them out a bit, then get the hose, wash out the rest, and hopefully put them in a pot. I can hopefully put them in a pot. So that's that one. You can see there's a lot of nice fine feeder roots on there. Crazy thing. That's what's left of that stump. Crazy. And then we got this bigger one here. The cool one. And that's come apart as well now, so I'll shake it off a bit. Pretty hard to shake it without shaking the camera. This is extremely awkward. I'll just give it a kick, hang on. Alright, I'm going to have to get the hose, clean it out properly. You'll get the idea. Anyway, very hard without a tripod. We'll get there. You just won't see much of it, that's all. Alright, let's do it. Okay, I'll try and get back far enough with the camera. But this is what I've ended up with. This is one trunk. You can see, pretty hollowed out. It actually makes a pretty cool trunk just on its own. Try and get back far enough. Okay, I'll do a bit of a spin. I hope that's in view. I can't see anything that's going on, I'm just guessing. Okay, so that's that. But pretty cool from that angle there. You get to see the width of it. And also the hollow part, which is bloody cool. I'll just show you inside the hollow part. You can see in there. Really cool, really cool. And the other one, that's pretty hollow as well. Some roots on the bottom there. So they used to be together and married up like that. So I'm going to plant them back like that in the new pot, cut the roots back. A lot of people say, oh, I collected a wisteria and the bugs got in there and the borers ate my trunk out. How do I keep my borers out? But the truth is, what happens, because the roots are very directional with live veins up to where it's alive, what happens... Yeah, hang on, I'm doing a video, okay? I'm doing a video. So what happens, basically, oh, the borers ate my tree out. But really, what really happened, the roots never grew at the bottom to support the top. So the roots never grew in between. The top died, and the wood is so soft that it rotted out just from the water probably, and maybe white ants. And that's just how soft and quick it rots out. It's almost like balsa wood. Jeez, those kids are friggin' annoying. Jeez, who would have them? Anyway, yeah, me. And then I've got to put that back next to there in the new pot. Obviously cut back some of these big strong roots. I won't go too hard because I don't want it to die back. So I'll do that again off camera. Sorry about that. There goes the big dog Leo. Hey bud, come say hello. Little dog's been put away again. Don't hit the fluffy bit. Hey, don't you touch my fluff.
It feels good.
No, don't touch it. You'll wreck it.
Let me feel it.
No, you'll break the mic.
Let me feel.
You'll break my sock, man. Oi. Bloody kids. Bloody kids, I tell you. Already breaking the tripod, don't need to break my sock. No more guys, please.
I'm not touching it.
Good. So anyway, let's trim the roots back, get it in the pot, and I'm not going to show you me potting it up. I'm sorry about that, but I got no tripod. I'll have to fix that and then we can go back to the normal videos. But anyway, let's get it potted up. And anyway, pretty cool old trunk. Oh, another thing, this little bit here that's connected to this one is actually almost broken right through here. And I hope it doesn't, because that'd be pretty upsetting, except you could possibly plant this on a third piece on its own and have a little breakthrough there. But we'll see how we go. Hopefully it doesn't. That's me wisteria. Let's get it all potted up. Cheers. Okay, well, before I show you the tree, I just wanted to show you where I've been collecting moss lately. Obviously out in the paddock's all dry, there's no moss out there now. There was in winter, not now. So, where I water these bonsais, and the water runs, you can see the moss is growing here. So, I'll put that bit back because I didn't need it. But all I do is I come along here and just scoop up big piles of it like that. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And that there, my friends, is a slide mark from a thong. And I landed flat on me back over there and half on the rocks. Hope that gives you a good laugh because it didn't really tickle. And I ended up bloody straining me back a bit. Got a bit of mud on the leg. Anyway, bit of fun. Bit of a slide. Getting too old for that sort of crap. And now we get back to the tree. Actually, I haven't watered the top of the moss, so it's not looking that great. I'll just get the watering can and see if I can water it for you. Oh, one-handed 10-kilo watering can. Here we go, son. Okay. So you'll notice certain sections are piled up. And I'll tell you why that is. That's because the roots are fairly well exposed there. Oops, I wasn't filming anything. The roots are fairly well exposed there. So I had to pile up the dirt so that it really covers in those roots, which is fine. Really, ideally I'd need a bit of a deeper pot, but it's not too bad. You know, I don't mind having a bit of a mound if it's necessary to have that mound, that's fine. You know, but if you just do a mound or mound up your tree in the middle of the pot for no reason, unless you're doing a landscape, I don't think that's, you know, too good. But if it's for a reason, that's fine. And here it's to cover some roots that were up in the air. And because it's so directional, if that root was to die there, that goes up into that little bit of foliage just there, that little shoot there, and then that whole live vein would die and it would rot back even further. Probably that whole side there would die off. It goes just into that. So a very live vein specific, and that's it. So I'll put it on a stand and do a spin of the wisteria. Don't know whether I even told you it was a wisteria, but it is. And somehow turn the bloody thing and keep it on camera without a tripod. We'll see. I might get one of those feral kids to do it for me. So it could be a little bit shaky on the camera work, but then again, my camera work's not that great anyway. Hold on to it. So I'll put it on. Whoops, there we go again. It's been well watered. I'll put it in a fairly quiet spot for a while. Push some of this moss in properly. It'll take hold, it'll be fine. And like I say, it's covering the roots, some roots. And then another thing I'll do too, I'll just show you. I'll put it on the turntable, I'll grab a beer, and I'll get back to you in a sec. Cheers. Okay, good day. Well, finished repotting, cleaned up the table a bit, got rid of some of the dirt, washed off the moss, made it look a little bit nicer. Got the sun shining through here. Anyway, I thought what I'll do, no tripod, I've got the broomstick. And what I'll do, the old beer there, I'll just sit back here. Sorry about the background, not the best with those dodgy old reeds that have broken up. Okay, I'll just try and spin. I'll give you a final spin of the tree. It's pretty cool. Just rot it away. That's not working. Okay, there you go. Spin of the tree. I'll give you a spin from another angle because I'm pretty sure the sun's creating too many shadows there. I'll come around this side. Maybe this will be a bit better. Don't know whether to go up like that in the sky. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then we got the sun shining in the hollow so you can see it a bit better. Alright, let's go again with the old broomstick. You can see the old line where it was buried to, where my broom is there, so we've lifted it up a long way, which is why I had to mound up some of the dirt. But anyway, that's the spin of the tree. I'll give you a bit of a close-up in there of some of the deadwood and the moss. Pretty cool. Anyway, this was a tree I never really cared about much. I dug it up, I rotted out, never really spent any time on it, just left it sit there to its own devices, cut it back a few times, and here you are. Done itself. Spent almost no time on it apart from digging it out. The wisteria. So let's hope it lasts a few years. Oh, that reminds me, while I still got you here, I'll just show you. Go in the shed here. Got to remember where I got it. I reckon it's in here. Bit of poison, surface spray, termite poison. No, not there. Trying to remember. Painting gear. Here. What I'm going to do, see me painting gear here. This is L's wood hardener. What it does is it soaks into the dead wood, water based, so it doesn't really hurt anything if you spill a bit. What it does is it gets into the soft wood and basically plasticizes it. It sets in there a bit like glue, soaks in, then sets like glue, and it almost turns the wood into plastic in a way, but it'll keep the look of the dead wood, and hopefully just slow down the rotting a bit. So I'll probably religiously put that on for a while just to really seal it up, because how it is now with the deadwood looks really cool, and I think deadwood's to the point where it does look cool, but if it was allowed to rot anymore, I think it would get to the point where it would just start to look a bit silly. Whereas at the moment you can still see the taper in the trunk. It's almost like a tripod. You got one at the back there, separate, but was part of the tree. You got this leg here holding it together. Nice big hollow in there. Absolutely beautiful in there. And then another leg back here, so you can see right through there. Pretty cool indeed. Pretty weird tree, very weird. So you can see where it was buried to. Lifted a long way. So you know, never really cared about this tree, but now that I've done all this to it, well, it wasn't much actually, a couple hours. Now that I've done all this, I'd actually hate to see it die. Whereas before I didn't really care. Now, you know, that wisteria stone looked pretty cool. You might not agree, but I think it is. Think it does. No worries. Let's just grab the old suckle, have a suckle. Sunday afternoon, beautiful. Okay. See if we got that tree in the background. The sun's in the eyes. Jesus. All right, no worries. Cheers for watching, Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your mates about the channel. Bit of a fun day today. Tripod's buggered, but that's okay, we'll have to fix it. No worries. Thanks for watching. Shed doors slamming. I'll catch you next time. Cheers. These buggers should sponsor me, I reckon. G'day. Just one last thing I was going to add on the video. One of the subscribers been watching my channel for a while, Callum Hall. He's having a bit of a tough time with his young bloke and Carter. So this is a shout out to Carter. Get well soon, mate. Had some fairly major surgery, so I hope all's doing well, guys. Bit of a shout out for you. You know, anyone around there's, you know, having first world problems and pissed off at the world because someone cut them off in the car, you know, maybe look at the big picture and realise being cut off by a car is not too bad. Anyway, get well, Carter. And Callum, cheers for your watching. I think Carter watches the show with his old man as well, so he'll see it. No worries. Cheers. Have a good one.